You like horror movies and Halloween masks? Consider supporting us by liking our videos, comment, and subscribing. The littlest effort will help us out. Now enjoy the video, boils, ghouls, and the non-boonary. Hello, this is Matthew from Piscoli Productions with another unboxing. This is probably the most unique one that we've done so far. It is not a mask, and it's not a Freddy glove or anything of the sorts. It's actually a figure. Not necessarily a rare figure, but one that you find very expensive all over eBay. I'm just going to get right into it. What I'm going to do is unbox it, and then we're going to do a close-up shot of it out of the box, looking at all its accessories and whatnot. Let's not waste any time. Alright, get a good look at it. I'll show y'all first before really having a good look at it myself. What we have here is, What we have here is the Sideshow Jason X 12-inch figure. Obviously, for anyone that collected horror figures back in the 2000s, these were like the premium figures, which today they still are, but of course technology has improved. These are kind of primitive by today's standards, if you kind of get what I mean. But having a good look at the box, there's pre-Uber Jason right there. And on the back, wow, that glare is terrible. You see the other figures that they released back then. You have Jason Goes to Hell and then Part 7 Jason. I actually own the Jason Goes to Hell and the Part 7. Part 7 Jason came from Goodwill. That came from eBay. This is another eBay find. Obviously, we're going to take him out of the box and do a little zoom in and go over him, but looking nice. Another piece for the collection. So, like I said, we're not going to waste any time. I'm going to go ahead, turn off the camera for a second. We're going to take him out of the box and we're going to have a close-up look at him. And here we have Jason in all his glory. He's kind of just generically posed right now. And hopefully this gives you a good look at him, because he is larger than like the average NECA figure. So, where do we even start? Obviously, like I said before, in terms of 1/6 scale figures that come out today, it is very primitive in terms of detail. It seems like, since the idea is the fact that it's a doll with realistic clothing and real chain, leather, stuff like that, is that they try to make it look as realistic as possible nowadays. Obviously, this is a bit more stylized, because I believe at the time Sideshow was basically copying like the G.I. Joe method of making figures, but doing it with horror icons like, you know, Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, Jason, and the rest. In terms of comparing it to what it looks like in the movie, there's some clear differences. Of course, we're gonna have a look at his mask. This is one that you can clearly tell they were trying to emulate the screen use piece. Has the flat nose, the kind of small chevron, the axe mark that is barely even axe mark, and I always thought when I was little that it was supposed to be the Part 7 like damage on the side, but it looks more melted on the screen use mask. Put that to the side. Let's take him off his stand. Have a good look at his face. Now, obviously, this was kind of before high quality images of Jason in the movie came out, so it's kind of hard to compare it to anything, because the only shot they had was the one in the movie where she removes his mask. Of course, I'll have photos of what he's supposed to look like, but it's kind of out of focus. But I mean, it's still good. It is a good Jason head sculpt, and the paint is obviously amazing, but of course nowadays this would be done very differently. Another kind of missing detail from the movie is his hair. For whatever reason, in Jason X, Kane Hodder just wears like a bald cap with hair glued on instead of like the full hood treatment that we know Jason actors have. This isn't really captured well into this figure, but again, like I said, for the age and kind of the lack of reference photos, it's still pretty good. Taking a good look at his clothing, which honestly, I mean, again, for the age, it's pretty spot on. His straight jacket has all the necessary details of like the missing chains. He has the chains he had on at the very beginning of the movie on all his limbs. The fingerless gloves Jason has. I guess he took cues from a Hot Topic shopper. Still pretty cool, pretty cool. The stand itself that Sideshow figures came on, kind of basic, just has the film logo and the, this is meant for the waist, but I tried to use this on a Sideshow Leatherface figure and the entire stand shattered, so I only put their legs in there. It works all the same. Look at his accessories that he comes with. He has his trusty machete, and then chains. This is from the opening where he kills David Cronenberg and all the other goons who captured him. The machete itself is reused from the other ones. If anyone remembers, the machete in Jason X is very serrated. Very rusty and serrated. And this is the same as every other release, which, I mean, is fine. There you go. If there's one complaint I have with the older Sideshow Jason figures is the mask never seems to sit on the head very well. Seems like it's very loose, which, I mean, I guess if you're going to do like thin leather straps, you kind of want to make it loose because if it's too tight, it could snap and just lead to issues. But for the most part, I would say, let's see, how much would this have been back in the day? I think this would have been like $40, which I do not feel like going into the inflation calculator. But nowadays, figures of this scale would run you from $150 upwards to $300. So honestly, for $40 back in the day, this must have been a good deal. Nowadays, these figures go for what you expect, about $150. I got lucky on this one because for whatever reason, the Jason X figure seems to be overpriced as hell. And yeah, that about does it. I plan on doing more figure unboxings rather than just masks, so if I end up liking how this turns out, you'll see more. This has been Matthew at Piscoli Productions. See you next time.